Thank you for watching. I've gotten a request recently, and the request was, Chris, that's me, can you build a 10 scale trophy truck? I've always been a huge fan of trophy trucks. I like the short course trucks, but in a trophy truck setup, well, I think it looks even more scale and even more realistic. HPI at some point had a really nice trophy truck, 12 scale I believe, and it was called a mini trophy truck. A bit of an obvious name, but I'm going to make an attempt to build my own. I'm not going to brace anything or make it really complicated. I'm going to see if with a minimal effort and a minimum amount of off-the-shelf parts, if I can create something that looks pretty cool. So let's see what I've got here, because I got it fully prepared on like one of those cooking shows in which I have ready done dishes already standing in the oven. This is the Killerbody interior. I recently did an unboxing. Unboxings are super boring, but I did an unboxing and a showcasing of this interior piece. I think it is really cool. I stumbled on that site by accident. I just woke up in the morning. I was going to bust a nut, and I was googling Asiatees when I discovered that the N key on my keyboard was not functioning properly. So that's how I got to the website of Asiatees, and they sell this Killerbody interior. It looks, well, I think it looks super detailed. It's quite scale, and it just gives you an opportunity to customize your short course truck or your well, trophy truck in this case, and to just put it at a different level of scaling and a different level of detailing. On the front over here, quite an important part, this is half a cover for a light pod for a Losi 5T. As you may have seen in the unicorn videos, I used the back part to make some light clusters for the front of the car. So I had these front covers. I still had that laying around, hacked it up, and that's going to be like an air box, like you would see on a real trophy truck. The cool thing when you're building a real trophy truck, or something that looks like a real trophy truck, you can just toss away a window mask. Because what I did over here, if I put this to the side for a tiny moment, I cut out every single window. So I don't need to mask them up, I don't need to keep them in account, I don't need to paint any window frames. I just needed to cut it, so it doesn't get any easier than that. Of course it does really mess with the structural integrity of the body, but then again, you know, this won't be a basher truck that I'm gonna run on a 6S lipos, trying to break speed records, taking it to skate parks and beating the shit out of it. This will just be something that really looks scale and something that looks cool, something a bit more realistic than the average short course truck. At least that's my goal. In the front over here, you can see that I cut out a hole to fit that Losi light pod cover, that air box. I hope that will turn out kind of scale. I also got my hands on this piece over here, which is a light bar made by Proline. You will see close-ups of all of these things. This is actually part that I was really excited about. Had it on back order for a really long time, finally came back in stock. And it is, I think, one of the most scale looking light bars I've seen to date. I also really like the Axial Exoterra light bar, but this one, it's a bit more beefy and it's a bit bigger. You see those really big pods in the back. You can put your LEDs in there. Yeah, I think it's really cool. I just had to glue a tiny, yeah, what do you call it? Tiny bit of plastic with 2 holes in it. You get it, I think it's usually intended to fasten your light bar from underneath, but since this won't be like a super basher truck, I fixed it to the light bar itself, just to make sure I could clear the curve off the roof. In the back over here, this is, if you own an Axial Exoterra, you will be familiar with this part. This is the back, the light bar in the back that you would get with your Exoterra. Drill 2 holes underneath the shell just to make sure I could fix it. And then in the back you see that, well, I basically hacked out a whole bit because I want those I want 2 spare tires in the back, like you would see on an actual trophy truck. Now, the cutoffs, first of all, don't throw them away. If you want to experiment a bit with painting, seeing how certain colors turn out, if you back them with different colors, it's really handy to hold on to those scraps. Another thing that in this case that were really handy for is I took the front windscreen, which I cut out a tiny bit larger than it is intended to be, just so I have a bit more of a view on that Killerbody interior. So I took the front windscreen, flipped it around, and on top of that windscreen I mounted two axial SCX10 honcho. You would find these in the back to mount a spare wheel on them. Two of those spare tire carriers, one on the left, one on the right. And this, after I drilled it, this will fit right over here on top of the rear bumper. Just going to really simply fix this into place, not over tightening the screws at all, because I do want that front window to stay intact, and there's quite a bit of weight that's going to be mounted to it afterwards with those two spare wheels. This is just with the rear bumper, that rear short course bumper of the Pro 2 chassis. This is a Pro 2 chassis, in case you didn't notice. I will put on some different wheels and tires instead of these stock ones. But between the Killerbody interior and that rear bumper, you have quite a bit of room to actually fit a spare tire, like this. Well, nothing left to do but to put this on, for now at least. Just so you have a bit of an idea of the look that I'm going for. Next up for me is masking up this body with the Bitty design. Liquid mask. That's the same stuff that I used on the Mustang, on the Unicorn build. So you may be familiar with it. You may also be familiar with the fact that I already mentioned that it is super stinky and smelly, but it is really nice to cut and really nice to work with. This build was sort of triggered by a guy that I follow on my Instagram. His name is 1Charlie2. I will put a link in the description box to his profile so you can check it out. He runs 1-2 Customs. He makes some really cool custom RC cars, and I saw him using this interior, this Killerbody interior as well, hacking out the windows and all that. So I thought, yeah, you know, that's brilliant. I'm going to give that a try as well. So I end up with something that looks a tiny bit more scale. If you are curious about any of the parts numbers used, again, I do not like to read out parts numbers because I think that is super boring. There's links to all the items that you see, whether that's these jerry cans, toolboxes, rock jack, the light bar, any of that stuff from Proline. I will make sure to separate it so you have a thing with Proline links and a link to their website. Don't forget, by the way, if you're on the Proline racing website and you do order something over there, to use the code HemiStorm10 for an instant 10% discount on all your purchases. Doesn't matter if that's just a set of wheels and tires, the entire Proline Pro 2 chassis, a clear body, or whatever, you know. That's been really cool to hand me that code so I can pass that around. Also give it out to your friends, because money saved is a good thing. Or if you want to know more about this Killerbody interior, have a look at the link that I put in the description box to the Asiatees website. They have a ton of items, accessories, kits, all that stuff. I see more and more people using Asiatees as a supplier, and I see more people getting their kits from there, so that's also a good thing. So go have a look over there as well. Unfortunately, no discount code. Yeah, well, that sort of wraps it up. If you want to be ahead of what's going on over here on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, links in the description box. Totally whoring myself out over there, but I hope to see you guys over there, because it's also cool for me to follow some of you back. Like for example Charlie, he makes really cool stuff, and it can always trigger a new build, like in this case a trophy truck in 10 scale. Fun, I think. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. Get creative, you know. Take all your spares out, see what you can toss together. It doesn't have to be intended a certain way for it to turn out to be a cool looking build, or at least something that's personal and that's different. So just go ahead and do that. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Hope to see you around. Bye bye. And subscribe.